Hello and welcome to the first installment of a brand new series where I take a deep dive into some of the worst performances witnessed from the local 10-mans. Our first test subject is one of the better ones, with a whooping HLTV rating of 0.19 and a total of 4 kills throughout the map. It's time to see where exactly did MVP go wrong on Mirage. Our boy didn't have much to work with on the pistol round. Poor behold from his teammates left MVP in a 2v1 retake scenario. MRTE cleaned up his pistol ace, showing early signs of cheating, but it's a little too early to make the final judgment. Just remember the name for the time being. It was a similar story for the following eco round. The T's punished the weak behold once again, and MVP had no chance to showcase his dueling prowess. Let's see what he has to offer in the first buy round. Firstly, the smoke was a very bad one, creating a fat gap which was promptly exploited by the terrorist side. The T's realised the mistake and pounced off the bat with the standard A execute. MVP was confident enough to wide peek into ramp and fully commit to it. He missed some tough headshot angles, and in return he got his own head torn off by the infamous railing games. Potential poor communication with the mid holders led to MVP exposing himself too much from triple. The molly was a very good idea, however he should think about throwing it without putting himself in the line of fire. Certainly don't peek with the nade still in your hand, especially when you were shot from that very position just a few seconds ago. MVP kept his composure, not overextending from his trusty default position, even checking all the possible entry points to his A site. When the time was right, he jumped at the opportunity to get his first kill of the game, a very important kill to get for his team to secure their third round. Not much to comment on round 6, as the Behold done their job for once. MVP couldn't get onto the action, so we'll move swiftly onwards. Good to see MVP going back to the position that got him his very first kill of the game. He clearly saw the A push coming, but once again he chose to expose his whole body while looking to toss in a flash to stop the incoming terrorists. Mama Puska had no mercy and deleted MVP from the game before he could even throw the flash. Back to triple box, and the T's decided to rush mid again. MVP tried to cross for a better pistol position, but walking was not optimal when the T's were running down mid. Could potentially blame the mid player again if it wasn't called out. Good to see MVP trying out different positions on the A side. Unfortunately, MRTE saw him through the walls and tapped his head without hesitation, going through a smoke in the process. You can't make it more obvious than that. MVP only had 2 shots to make it count, but couldn't punish the hyper-aggressive play. Well, what do we have here? It's only the rare hero M4 setup from the desperate CTs. Strange that they had the confidence in MVP to produce the goods despite his kill total thus far. Everyone baited for MVP on A to set him up for glory. Wait, rewind. Is that the same mistake for the 3rd time this game? MVP clearly forgot about his physics lessons because he could have just simply thrown the HE grenade against the wall to achieve the same thing without exposing himself to all the enemies. The hero M4 goes to waste with not a single bullet being shot from it. Now the CTs opted for an anti-hero buy, with MVP going out with the P2000 despite having over 5k cash in the stash. MRTE had zero respect once again, making his cheats more blatant as time goes on. I suppose we have to give credit to MVP for having the galaxy brain foresight to save his money, knowing full well he would die without a chance to do anything in the round. MVP was given the mid duty for this round, holding it tight from the connector position. Slow reactions along with poor tracking on the catwalk player allowed Greg to punish the play quite easily. The CTs tried their very best to get MVP into the game. They even dropped him a better skin to see if that would change anything. Spoiler, it didn't. The PTSD from mid kicked in as MVP's entire focus was on connector, completely forgetting that ramp was an option. He tried crossing late to sandwich, and by forgetting about the smoke timing, he got caught out right at the start of the A execute. The one thing I can commend MVP on is his pure confidence in himself. Clearly CP wanted the AWP here, but MVP took it upon himself to prove the haters wrong. Or more likely he didn't know what his drop button was at the time. Some nifty dancing around the ticket booth looks promising to start with. The AWP shot was insanely close to hitting, but then he got smoked off and couldn't get back into the round. Raylan Games done well to predict that the same jump was coming. For the final round of the half, the CTs tried a unique double palace push. MVP was a tad late during his opening rollout, which led to his death as the T side continued to rush A relentlessly. A disappointing end to the first half to say the least. Not spending his money for the pistol round is uncommon in the modern game. A weird flex when you are getting pummeled inside the server. Wait a minute, take me back for a second. A wild MRTE appeared on screen without being spotted. As the entry, you must be aware of all the possible hiding spots, Ninja being one of the more famous ones on Mirage. The other Ts were also oblivious to MRTE's position, which allowed the sole A defender to clean up a triple kill. MVP had no clue where the kills were coming from. He did manage to get his second kill of the game by not getting fooled by MRTE's brave attempt to camouflage as a terrorist. Perhaps an attempt to make his cheats less obvious. Mama Puska was there for the quick trade right after that. A single smoke can go a long way on an eco round, so I'm glad that MVP went back to pick one up. That is however not the way I saw it being used. Solid improvisation for the CT smoke. However, the flashes do require some work though. The flash will not kill opponents for you, so don't peek with them in your hand for like the millionth time this game. Hard to do anything with a Glock, so we'll skip right past this round. The great CT smoke returned for round 20, however, so did the dire flashbang. You could see MVP cracking under pressure as he couldn't decide what to do when he got on A site, going through everything he had on him. Unfortunately, Mama Puska was ready for the peak and converted the 2v1 clutch with relative ease. MVP took a more passive approach in this round. He got away with not checking short, making it to stairs without dying. The trademark flash just kept on coming, with MVP not being scared of the enemy peeking at all. He adds that little bit of flair by looking directly at the flash too. He ended up dying to the bomb, which just proves MVP's arrogant approach to the game, showing that he's too good to care about stable economy. The only smoke that MVP had in his repertoire didn't come off well this round, landing right by Tetris instead of CT. On the fly, MVP decides to take initiative and jump up to stairs where he spots Greg's AWP sticking out. He rushed his shots and Greg punished the misses without mercy. MVP went AFK with 2 seconds left until the round started. He came back after a while but only had a Glock to aid in this round. His teammates done well to open up B site, which led to a 3v3 post-plant scenario. It was a good decision from him to drop after the initial peak. The molly and flash follow-up was very good too, as it allowed him to reposition to the arches. MVP picked up his third kill here and bought enough time to ultimately win the round. Probably the best round MVP had this game. MVP decided to wander through underpass again. Once he got out to mid, a great flash and peek combo from the CTs made it impossible for him to do anything of worth in the round. MVP opted to try his luck with the Glock again, to see if he could replicate his previous success with it, even though the rest of his team forced. He ended up slow peeking apps with it, which is almost never going to work. There's a tip for you. It was the first match point for the CTs. Our boy remained passive around the apartments to see if anybody else on his team could open anything up. One by one his teammates fell, leaving him in a 3v1 situation. He had the game sense to figure out nobody was on B and got a safe plant. He made his way back to apps to defend from the high ground. He ended up getting one extra kill to his tally before he got flanked from behind. The enemies convert the 26th round and win the game 16-10.